we should be coming online. Let's find out. All right, we are slowly coming online. Facebook's online. Good old Periscope's online, and YouTube is online, Periscope. Which means, yeah, man, old school. Guy.
Yeah, dude, you're the guy in person.
So what I'm gonna do is give you this momento. I'm gonna give you this, and this will be where you can find the video to share. And I will also give you, I'll give you some copy that you can change up however you want. That's also in the Zoom chat. And
can I share this? Can I share this live as a
watch party?
Watch party?
Yeah, you can. You can share it however you want.
We go here. Hold on, let me just grab something here on the screen.
And I am gonna start doing my shares as well. And I'm gonna make sure that I tag you in here.
I love this whole pre-roll thing, man.
Pre-roll's easy. Yeah, pre-roll's good, man.
Yeah, but you're using all kinds of sort of nifty tools to do this because I looked into it.
OBS.
Yeah, and I looked into it, but it's not as easy as OBS.
It's OBS. It's not as easy as ABC, that's for sure.
Exactly.
But it buys us some time to do some, there we go, share to a page. We can just, like use this time to just start sharing, but then also just
look into it.
Just talk shit.
And I looked into it, but it's not as easy as OBS. Can you still hear me, D?
Yeah, man. ABC, that's for sure.
Exactly.
I can hear you, and I can hear you talking about you in the other one.
Okay, so how are we?
Some time to do some.
How are we going to fix that?
Oh, you just focus on this video. I can, because I'm gonna moderate all the questions and all that other stuff anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna share this now, yeah, and then I'm gonna kill this video.
Yeah, man. Or you can just turn off the the volume from the video. ABC, that's for sure.
Exactly.
I can hear you, and I can hear you talking about you.
Inception, man.
Inception.
How are we going to fix that?
Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna share this now, yeah, and then I'm gonna kill this video.
Yeah, man.
Okay, done.
Awesome.
I want to share it on Bot Father as well.
We got people coming in. Love it. People are slowly streaming in, which I love. Hey, for those of you that can, for those of you that are here, we got you can see in the pre-roll, we got 5 minutes before we kick off. Do us a favor and be our tech check guinea pigs. Let us know if you can hear us, you can see us. Drop an emoji if you can. I've got Rutger here today. Rutger and I go way back to the founding moment of Bots and Beers. So you guys are gonna want to hear that one, I think. But if you can hear us or you can see us, drop us an emoji, please. Whatever, pick an emoji. Get creative. You can see the pre-roll. We got 5. Man, are things starting to lift up a little bit in Amsterdam, or is it still fairly restricted? Can you hear me all good? Hey, Romain, what's going on? See your comment. Thanks for saying hey. I might have lost you, Rutger. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can hear you, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can hear you. I just killed it. I'm just sharing one more, then I'm gonna kill the echo.
Oh, right, got it. Hannah, what's going on? So for those of you that are joining us as well, you might want to think about tagging a friend in this. Rutger and I are going to go deep on, and this is a fairly tactical episode as well. We're going to go deep on messenger bots, how to drive growth with it. So whether you're new, whether you're experienced, I mean, like I said in the post, I thought I knew my way around messenger bots, and then I met Rutger and I was like, okay, I don't.
Right on.
Beautiful.
Oh, good, man. Everything is shared.
Nice.
Good to go. Whenever
good to
we're
go
ready.
good to go with 3 minutes too. So we are
Nice.
we are,
Couple minutes. That's good. That's
we are
good.
nice and
How's
healthy.
my hair?
Your hair's looking luscious, baby.
Luscious, dude.
Luscious.
So yesterday, let's briefly discuss this whole lockdown thing. Yesterday, we had a big announcement here in the Netherlands, where Monday everybody can go back to the hairdressers, to the hairdressers. So it's a big deal, man. Finally.
Awesome. That's so awesome. That's a big deal. It's so funny how big of a deal talk about appreciating the little things in life.
Exactly. It was front page news, man. It was front page news today.
People are rejoicing about
100%.
Even cosmetic studios, where you can get your filler, your Botox and all that. People are rejoicing. And I'm like, how many people think they're influencers out there? Oh my God.
Oh man.
Gotta do what you gotta do,
Exactly. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How's everyone watching doing, by the way? I can see all of you. We're gonna go again. I want to remind everyone, we got 2 minutes before we kick off. You do not, Jason Brown, what's going on, brother?
Jason, what's up?
Today we're gonna go deep, go get tactical with messenger bots. I thought I knew my way around messenger bots. Rutger showed up and showed me I knew nothing about messenger bots, pretty much, to the level that he does, at least. So if you have a friend that owns an e-commerce brand, has an info product, or does any type of lead gen, messenger bots is going to help you and help them as well. So make sure you tag a friend that needs to see this. We're about to kick off in a minute and a half. Make sure they watch the show, because don't forget, they don't have to join us live if they don't have, obviously, if they don't have the time to do right now. But if you tag them, they can come on back. They can watch the whole thing on replay, and they'll have the benefit of the show notes as well. I'm pumped. I'm super pumped about this one. And Rutger's just a stand-up guy with luscious hair. What's there not to love?
Just in a couple days more, Monday, and then it's all gone.
I don't know, man. I like the look.
Dude, I think it's been, I don't know, maybe 20 years or so since it's been this long. And then 20 years ago it was blonde. Now it's getting gray and shit. Different
Silver
times,
fox.
man.
Got the silver fox thing going on.
Ooh, I like that one, the silver fox.
Yeah, man. Is there a Dutch equivalent of that? Because silver fox is like when you start getting gray, but you still look foxy.
Their Dutch equivalent, what would that be? You need to think about that one. I don't think there's sort of.
You have 20 seconds to come up with the answer before we go on.
Silver fox. No, I need to get back. I need to stop time. Stop. I need to look this one up somewhere. No, I don't know. Silver fox. I think I like silver fox. I think if you would say silver fox here, everybody would like, I know what you mean.
And on that note, let's go live. All right. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Grow Great Show live. Today is a really exciting episode. I've got my friend Rutger with me. We go back a few years. In fact, back to the point where Rutger first. I saw him come up with the idea of bots and beers for his community. So I'm gonna read off Rutger's intro. I want to make sure I intro him properly, let you guys know what he's all about. Then we can grill him on what he's all about, and I'll throw over to Rutger as well. So Rutger's known as the bot father to many, and by many I mean not only many marketers but top tier marketers as well. Like, it's not a name that he just gave to himself. Everyone agrees that he is the bot father. He's helped hundreds of marketers, I would actually hazard maybe thousands of marketers at this point, and dozens of businesses implement successful messenger bot strategies into their business. Like I said in the post where I was promoting this, I thought I knew my way around messenger bots. I met Rutger, completely schooled me, right? Rutger has a community called Bots and Beers. It was born out of necessity due to the absolute amount of bullshit being taught in the messenger bot space. Now it has just on 2,200 members, and it's a place for people to share their messenger marketing knowledge and learn from the best in the industry while sharing the good old beer every once in a while. So
that's what we do.
That being said, let's throw over to Rutger. What's going on, my man?
Good morning. Thanks for having me, man.
Good evening. Thanks for jumping on.
It's 10 good evening. Yeah, time. That's crazy. Yeah. So it's 10-ish p.m. here now. So I think I'm sort of 9, 10, maybe 11 hours ahead of you.
Yeah, totally. It's like 6 a.m. here for me. So nice and early start, which I always love because you just get so much more done.
Good, man. Good. Dude, I love your intro. I vividly remember when we were in, first time we met was in Hawaii. And that's where sort of where the Botfather project literally saw the day of light. And I still remember, and I tell this more often, is that, hey, how did it all start? And I remember that we were in that conference room doing a little sort of breakout session on bots, and people sort of stayed in the room, and we had some beers, and it was fun, and there was some pizza, and I was like, this is pretty interesting, this whole bot thing. I knew a little bit what I was doing. And then sort of at some point there was just an audience, and I enjoyed talking about bots and Messenger and about the strategies and everything. A couple hours later, and this is something I truly remember, sort of, I see it vividly. You were there, and you were sort of on the other end of the table, and I was sitting here, I think, with Tamara. And at some point it just sort of got me, and I stood up and said, yo, D, bots and beers, that's what it should be. You were like, yeah, that's what it is. And then sort of that's about 2 years ago. Full focus now on messenger bots since the last year or so. Full focus on messenger bots, full focus on building the Botfather brand, building out bots and beers, and trying to deliver. Trying to deliver, over-deliver value to the community outside of the big go-to groups. I'm not going to mention any names, but there's some big groups out there, 70, 80, 90, 100,000 people, messenger related. So you know sort of where about what we're talking about, where I found that there's so much people in there just rolling over each other with bad advice and self-promotion, more bad advice, self-promotion, more bad advice. And the worst thing of it all is that there are still a lot of people in there that actually take that bad advice for granted and got in trouble, got their pages banned, etc. And that was something that was going on, especially about a year ago. And that's where sort of I took my first angle for bots and beers. I want to create a safe haven, as I called it back then, a safe haven where you could come into a vetted group where there would be solid content and where you would get a sort of a real answer to your question, as in an answer that was
researched and
if I wouldn't know the answer, I would tell you I wouldn't know, and I would research it and I would get back to you, and that's how it steadily grew. And that also became sort of what I wanted to do. I wanted to break through the white noise and be real and give people solid advice, especially around terms of service, because it's a lot of gray area there around terms of service. And now, again, since full focus is on messenger bots, Botfather, it's going more towards strategies, digital products, videos, interviews, etc. And we're building this little community with fun people, great content, amazing, good stuff going on there.
Yeah, totally. And I remember that moment actually really vividly. If I shut my eyes, I can actually see it in front of me. The moment when, not even the moment, but I remember standing at the back of the room watching you deliver that information. Because it was a really casual session. It was late in the evening. People could have easily gone off to party elsewhere, or gone to the bar, or gone back to their room to watch TV in their hotel room. But they stuck around. And I could only see the backs of them, right? But I remember vividly seeing you. I think there was a whiteboard there, and you came alive in a way that, and this was the first time we met, and I went, this guy's he really gives a shit about this thing, to the point where it's evangelism to the next degree, right? It's not I have personal gain or anything of that nature. And when you were talking back then, there were a few points that I'd love to dig into. The first one, though, that I want to start off with is, what is it that turns you on so much about messenger bots?
It's a fair question. And I don't have a real answer to it, but the only thing, it truly excites me. And I think I found my passion, my groove in creating solutions, creating solutions for specific problems using automations. And in this scenario, it's bots. Dude, if you would have told me 2 years ago that this would be my thing, no freaking way. I wouldn't have believed you. And it just wasn't a set up plan. It just happened. And it happened a little bit before we met, when Facebook opened the API for Messenger. My girlfriend got laid off. The agency was doing pretty well because my initial focus a couple of years ago was building the agency, focus on media buying, creating the agency. Messenger bots were never, ever on the roadmap, by no means. My girlfriend got laid off. She came to the office, started doing a little work together. It's like, hey, this might be a good time to get you on board. And we ran into this thing called ManyChat. It's like, yo, you know what? You're going to have a look at this thing called ManyChat. And she started working with it. And this is not a joke. Within a day, we sort of got in a fight. This is never going to work. I'll do it myself, that kind of stuff. And this was for people who know ManyChat, pre-Flow Builder. And so this was about 2 years ago. And it took me about a week to grasp what this thing was, messenger bots in general, and my entry point was ManyChat. I'm by no means affiliated by ManyChat or whatsoever. And what I learned there is that my brain, and this is my logical explanation for this, my brain seems to work on this creative side of things. It's a creative brain looking for solutions, and it gets high on building automations. I truly get excited about it. It's weird.
I can tell even right now, watching you talk about it, it's infectious. It's infectious.
Yeah. But I truly like it. Truly enjoy it.
Here's the question, though, right? You say my brain, enjoys the creative side. I'm sure for a lot of people watching this, they go, oh my God, how the hell is that creative? It feels so intimidating and technical. So if there are people that are struggling to wrap their head around messenger bot, or they might be new to automation, to share an experience, I guess, I understand conversational marketing and marketing automation fairly well. I've messed with all the different platforms, Infusionsoft back then, ActiveCampaign, et cetera. And then I go into this thing called messenger bot, and there's this one layer where you go, okay, I kind of get it. I've been to other Facebook pages. I hit get started. They ask me a bunch of questions. As a consumer, I understand what it's supposed to do. And then you go into the building side. If you open up a ManyChat free account, you start going in there. It's like growth tools, broadcast, schedule, and then you can start doing zaps and tags and actions, and then you can turn it into other things. I'd love to get like a peek behind your brain almost. How can someone who views that as intimidatingly technical start to go into the world where you're in, where it's like, I now understand the tools, I can start to play?
Build real awesome stuff. Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think it's determination. It is actually willing to learn. But why do you want to? Where does the will to learn come from? That comes from something you truly enjoy. I mean, I think if you can reflect this to anything. I mean, surfing. I know I'm not a surfer, I'm not a skier, whatever. But let's say scuba diving, dude. I've been a scuba diving instructor. Um, why do you want to learn to dive? Because you think something is awesome. How do you get really good in something? By repeating it and challenging yourself. Same with sort of scuba diving in this example, or surfing, or if you truly have a passion for something and you truly think something is able to help you forward, whether it's on a personal level or a business level, then the only advice I have for you is dive in and keep and get up that learning curve. Actually do it. And that's what I did. And I think my luck in this thing is I truly am passionate about it. But also to help other people sort of solve problems using automations, and therefore helping other people as well, sort of consumers. If we're talking this from a B2B side, it's a whole holistic thing. I mean, let's not get too sort of woo on this, but there's a learning curve.
Let's lean into the woo woo. I love the woo woo.
You love the woo woo. I mean, yeah, I truly think if you're passionate about something, and you also, so that's sort of the personal side of things. There is a passion for this, and I know it sounds awkward. You got a passion for messenger bots, for chat marketing, woo, but it's true. And on the other side, there's sort of the personal development as well, because what I see, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm curious what you think about this. In our bubble, in our sort of marketing bubble, our filter bubble, as you wish, the majority of people are agency owners, media buyers. At least that's what I see. And that's what I see, and that's what I saw. And what I saw as well is, with sort of that determination and that passion, I also saw the blue ocean where I jumped into, where it was fairly easy, quote unquote easy, to sort of establish myself as one of the authorities in this space.
Yes.
Which is freaking awesome as well.
Totally. Absolutely.
And so then if you sort of stitch everything together, for me, that sort of drove and drives, that's the rocket fuel that keeps me driving forward. It's the fact that there is a blue ocean out there when it comes to creating that brand, personal brand in the messenger bot space, build awesome things, help brands, help marketers, build a business, do awesome things, and jump on lives with you to woo about all kinds of cool stuff.
For sure.
I mean, that's what it is. Yeah.
So for, I'm gonna play one of the audience here. Rutger, I've heard about Messenger Bot. I've used it before as a consumer interacting with other brands. With where you stand and with how much you know, how does a Messenger Bot help me build my personal brand? Like, shouldn't that be my ad? Shouldn't that be my content? Shouldn't that be my all that stuff? Like, where does Messenger Bot play in that role?
Specifically, personal brand?
Personal brand, or my company. Where does it play? Is it customer support? Is it just to keep people at bay until I have time to answer them? Like, how do you think about Messenger Bot, and how should I, as a beginner, think about Messenger Bots?
Well, so let's reverse it. Let's just pretend for a minute that we're consumers, because besides sort of creative people and marketers and agency owners, whatever we want to be, we're consumers. Now, when you buy something on a web, when you purchase something online, or you're searching for something, searching for information, what would be the most convenient way to get an answer to your questions?
Customer support
What would you, customer
or
support? How
or
would
FAQ or
yeah,
I would
exactly.
look everywhere on the site.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing. You would look everywhere on the site. Well, with well-designed websites, you're probably going to find your answer. But the majority of the websites are not that well designed. It's going to take you a lot of time. Depending on the type of device you're on, it's not that easy. So chat in general, so not, doesn't necessarily have to be Messenger, but chat in general is the most intuitive way. Even think about speech in the next couple of years. Chat is probably the most intuitive way to find an answer to your questions quick versus browsing all kinds of FAQs, going to this, whatever, dive into a random website, or go to the website of your bank and try to find an answer in sort of the library of content they have. If there's a chat, then chat will be, when chat done right, chat is the most convenient and intuitive way to get an answer, consistent answer as well to your questions.
And
And
is that the only place where chat lives? Are there other applications to chat? I mean, from a lead acquisition standpoint, for not
100%.
beyond customer
There's
support.
it is sort of, I think if we're looking at any brand, doesn't have to be an e-commerce, it could be any brand. In my opinion, every brand these days should have a live chat support. Could be super, it doesn't have to be super fancy with all kinds of AI and stuff. It should be good. If it's not good, if it's not answering any questions, and if you're not able to follow up with people who sort of tap into that chat, you shouldn't use it, because that's gonna hurt your brand. But again, think as consumers, when we hit a website, whether it's to purchase something small, or maybe I'm digging into some kind of a high ticket coaching program, I have questions. Look, I'm a partner in a business in a scuba diving operation in Palau. We sold pre-COVID high ticket scuba diving packages. I cannot tell you how many people hit our website. We're pretty decent in organic traffic SEO, so we're getting a decent amount of organic traffic a day. I think we're getting about 5 or 10 questions a day through chat from people who have specific questions. When's the best time to come? What's the weather? Do you have accommodation? Can I bring my wife who's not a scuba diver? Are sharks really dangerous? That's one I really love. Having a chat on our website and being able to give these people an answer 24/7 that is helping them forward in their research process gives us a competitive advantage over those other scuba diving operators out there on the same strip who are probably not answering their emails within a day or replying to sort of inquiries coming through the site, etc. So chat should be a fundamental part of any business these days in order to deliver customer support. That's, for me, that's the basics that should be in place. Now, if you look further, you can definitely, and you probably should, use chat or Messenger or whatever to build your lists. Acquisition. I mean, let's do list building. I mean, in the most basic form, list building. We got a lead magnet. We want to build our lists. We want to get people on our email list. We're going to people on our messenger list. And these days, we're going to get them on SMS as well. We want to build website custom audiences. We want to maybe do segmentation, because we want to know who these people are. And based on that segmentation, we are actually able to create macro or micro audiences that we now are able to target specifically with content related to their segment. I mean, I'm going to give you an example here. Let's say you're an e-com and you got a flash sale coming up, or you got a sale coming up, and you want to build your list. So you're going to push out a coupon code, whatever that coupon code may be. We could argue if the coupon code is the best thing to do this, but just for the sake of the example, you're going to push out a coupon code. Say, hey, cold audience, click here to get a coupon code, $10 off, or whatever it is. People come in. This is the time to start a conversation with them. And one of the things I've built recently, and this is incentivize people in Messenger to give you more information. Not just information, but relevant information you as a marketer, as a business owner, can actually use to create those micro segments, which you can then use to target people in Messenger, in SMS, in email with specific offers related to that segment. So what you, for example, can do, say, hey, D, here's a 10% coupon code, but if you answer these 3 questions, it could be a 30% coupon code.
Uh-huh.
And these questions could then be, hey, do you have kids? For example, this is the first thing that comes to mind. Do you have kids? Because if I know, well, that question should obviously sort of be relevant for your business. But if you, for example, have, I don't know, stock for kids' shoes, and you know that 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 people in your audience actually told you they have kids, what are you going to do? You're going to target those 5,000 people that told you that they have kids with a specific offer for those kids' shoes.
Without turning off the rest of your list that does not have kids.
Exactly. So
Yes.
Exactly. So you can create that macro or micro segment, obviously how big your audience is. But this could work with audience of 10, of 50. Doesn't really matter. Try to do that. Try to sort of create that level of segmentation in email. That's going to be hard. I'm not saying email shouldn't be used, by no means. I would be the last one to say that, but use chat messenger as one of your tools in your toolbox, and use it as that conversational tool to actually sort of be helpful. And in this scenario I just gave you, you're being helpful because I'm asking you a question which enables me to deliver you better content. And at the same time, I'm incentivizing you with a higher discount. With my end goal is that I'm going to sell you more of my product because I know what you need and what you're looking for, which would then should result in lower CPMs, higher CTR, better page quality, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have them on email, you have them on Messenger, you have them in chat, and then you're per campaign, you leverage the tools you need.
Yes.
And keep building those audiences, and sort of keep segmenting those audiences. Webinars. I mean, invite your audience to join your webinar through Messenger. Get them in Messenger. From Messenger, you get them on email. From email, you get them in website custom. In Messenger, you get them in website custom audience. You get them in email, and you get them on SMS. Now you are setting yourself up to run that omni-channel marketing. You can run those omni-channel marketing campaigns. I'm not saying you have to do it from the get-go, but with a Messenger chat first strategy, you're setting yourself up to sort of kick off that omni-channel marketing strategy whenever you're ready for it. But just you need to start somewhere. And if you start with Messenger first, then you're able to do that. If you're just using email, it's going to be damn hard to do that.
Yeah, and I see it too. I mean, there's something special that happens at the end to the end user neurologically when they hear that Messenger ding versus when they hear an email swoosh. They're like, email. There's this dopamine hit that comes with it. They have to open it.
Yeah.
Instantaneously. So there's that layer too, right?
100%. There's 100% that layer, and think about it. I mean, if the key here is you need to keep adding value. because you make a really good point there. Is everything that happens on this mobile device is often friends and family. Email is sort of buried in a separate app in different tabs, but Messenger or chat and SMS are boom, they're instant. There's that ping.
Yeah.
So you want to have a look, but as and when you are able to add value with the content you actually share, then you will get those click-through rates and those open rates and click-through rates, and Messenger will become a core part of your strategy. I prefer to look at do this, what we just mentioned, the acquisition and the segmentation, do that after customer service first. Because when you are able to leverage chat as a customer service tool, you'll earn the right to sell. You earn the right to sort of get the eyeballs of Messenger. Why? Because nobody else, and I'm saying nobody, but just as an example, the majority of shops, businesses are just not doing it. So when you are that business that takes customer service, pre-purchase, post-purchase to the next level, people will perceive you as a business different because you have that human touch. It could be partially automated, no problem. But that's how I see it, man. That's how I see it. Customer service first. Earn the trust.
There are a ton of takeaways there for sure. And I see the logic behind customer service first, and the really powerful sentence, profound sentence that you said after that, which is you earn the right to sell. No one owes you a living. You earn it from other people. And following that also, if you start with customer support as the core of the atom, then you can start building the acquisition, because otherwise you're just adding more fuel to what already is shaky, or more eyeballs and more traffic to what already is shaky customer support. So that's why it's a good place to start there.
That's how I built these automations, and that's how I look at new projects that come in, or when we start new projects, is start with the base, because if you have that base set up properly, you can start building upon that. And again, think about it as a consumer. What is more awesome than getting a question you have answered immediately? And it doesn't necessarily have to be the definitive answer, as long as you are being acknowledged by the business. Hey, D, we've heard you. Our customer support team will be with you, I don't know, in the next 2 hours or so. But in the meantime, check out our refund policy here.
Yes.
I've been heard as a consumer. I know that somebody is coming. I also understand as a consumer that the world is bigger than just my question, so that there is sort of a delay. If there's nobody there immediately, no problem. And now the kicker is if and when that person, that customer support, that live chat agent, whatever, actually follows back up within sort of that time frame, got a client forever.
Amazing. I love it.
And that's where I get excited about that. And it's maybe not even those automations, but being able to create that level of service through automations, partially automated, a little bit of AI, making the world maybe just a little bit of a better place for everybody.
You know, it's funny. It's so starting the show. Before I jump into that, do you think in Dutch first and then translate to English? I always love people that are bilingual. That question.
No.
Interesting. Interesting. Only because I know people that, like, for example, because I born and raised in Singapore. I know people that think in Mandarin and then speak in English, and then that's how their mode is. And I have people like, I've got a friend who is French Tunisian, and he thinks in French and then goes to English. So it's always a fun game. Anyway, just a side. That was this completely side question. what I wanted to reflect on and share this reflection is the fact that this show has really afforded me a peek into the minds of people that are operating at a really high level of passion, but also they're driving towards this self-imposed arbitrary echelon of greatness, right? And what I'm seeing across the board, and I guess this is just for the for all of our viewers out there as well, what I'm seeing as a commonality, and just from that point that you spoke about just there, is the fact that the level of give a shit for the end customer and the impact that your actions can possibly make to the end customer or to the people that you work with, their end customer, it's so visual for you. It's so vivid for you, to the point where you go, I there's meaning in my work. I'm actually making the world better in this small little area, and I can believe in that.
And you're spot on, man. And the funny thing with chat, you actually see it happen.
Yes, short feedback loops, right?
No, you see, because when we build something for a client, you actually see how it sort of dissolves specific bottlenecks. You see how people react with it, how people interact with it, and then I can sort of look at life threats for hours. Just like people can look at jellyfish, I can look at sort of, okay, what's happening, how are people behaving, and then if we can see sort of that a specific build or a specific scenario is one, giving the client sort of extra time because they do not have to jump in answering those questions manually, and the consumer is happy because they found what they were looking for sort of on autopilot.
Yes,
that's a triple win. I'm happy,
absolutely,
consumer's happy, client is happy, or the pages, whatever, the business is happy, and everybody keeps moving forward, whatever they do. And in the long run, and I truly believe this, and is that if you do this right, this whole chat thing, whatever it is, because we're just scratching the surface, guys. We're just scratching the surface. Now it's chat, now it's messenger, but I don't know what's coming in 2, 3, 4 years from now when we're looking at speech. And
speech AI is getting very sophisticated very, very quickly.
I think that's exciting. I think that's exciting to sort of think about and to be on the forefront of that without even knowing where we're going. And I think that's super excited. And I don't know, man, it's exciting. And I think more brands should embrace chat. They should embrace chat, but I think it's more broader. And I think you and Scott had an interesting discussion on that in the group as well, is that a lot of businesses do not focus on customer service in general. It's always the ROAS, scaling, if they're lucky. But actual focus, resources and assets on customer service, retention, lifetime value, that kind of stuff, that is often underappreciated,
undervalued, absolutely. And I think the industry at large at the same time as well are, I can comment on this too, because between you and I and our teams, we interact with a lot of direct to consumer entrepreneurs. And I think it's one at large in the forums, within that bubble that you spoke about at the very start. It absolutely is. We see most of the content come from other agency owners, advertisers, and media buyers. However, I believe that there is a very silent majority in there of people that are impressionable and have brands or have aspirations to start brands, or they are, what's the word to use here? They are the team members of brands, right? Like employees of. And so when everyone talks about cold audience, talks about adding more new customers, that's the only thing on the forefront. I think it's easy for a lot of people to then fall back into neglecting retention, customer support, lifetime value, back end. And then there's a second part to this too. There's a second part to this. The second part being, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. This is just me framing it up. The second part being, would you argue that that's almost the difference between someone that actually wants to build a brand versus someone who's just kind of, building the brand as the vehicle, but really just chasing the cash and the return on ad spend and the flashy stuff, right? What do you think?
I think there are a lot of people out there that their initial thought is, I'm going for the cash, but that it's harder than they initially think it is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them drop off. A few remain. And a few of them are actually probably sort of thinking about building an actual brand. I don't think the majority of them are actually sort of thinking through what is going to make this a brand versus I need to push harder.
How do I move product?
I need to move product, exactly. And then I want to get the consistent 8x ROAS and etc. I mean, look at the groups, look at the bubble we're in, man. I mean, if you can show me 2 or 3 threats in the next 24 hours where they cannot be mine, where people are talking about customer service, retention, and how sort of pre and post-purchase customer support actually helped bring in revenue, nobody's talking about it. I don't know why. Is it not sexy? Is
it very likely so?
Undervalued? Are people not doing it? I don't know. I almost cannot imagine that if you're doing 6 or 7 figures, I don't care how many figures you're doing, there must be some customer support in place. There must be. At least I hope. I hope there is. Because there must be, but nobody's talking about it. And I think there are so many diamonds, sort of so many scenarios and so many wins. I think that's where I want to go. There's so many low-hanging fruit in optimizing, polishing customer support that I'm confident that when you start picking that low-hanging fruit from the customer support level, you're just going to add more revenue to your bottom line. I want to say a number, but I don't know the number. I'm not saying, hey, if you're going to pick the low-hanging customer support fruit, you're going to sort of 10x your rev. No, by no means. I don't know, maybe, but there will be extra rev because you're doing what we as consumers expect. You care about me, I give you my money. You care about me. You care about my customer journey, my experience as a customer. And therefore I want to come back to you as a business and want to give you more money. And that's where the LTV kicks in.
Yes.
And we're not able, and this is a little bit Stephen Black talking here, we're not able to, the majority of us business owners are not able to what's it called?
Empathize?
No, drawing a blank here. So we all sell the same products. We all sell the same services. So that is not where we are able to, come on, what's the word? Are able to differentiate on.
Differentiate?
We're not able to differentiate on product, not able to differentiate on price. We shouldn't differentiate on price because at the end, the majority of us are selling the same products and services. But where we can excel and stand out of the crowd is with customer service. And customer service goes a long way. I mean, it goes just being friendly. Example again, our dive shop in Palau. If you look at, and we've been up and running now for 7 years. We're not the cheapest by no means, but we're number one on TripAdvisor out of 35 shops. And why do people come back? Because we care. The team on the ground literally cares about our clients, about our guests for 6 or 7 days. People cry when they leave, and they come back. And they come back and they come back and they come back. And that is, for me, customer service in the core. Caring about your clients or your guests, whether it's on a personal, if you're brick and mortar, or with enhancing the shopping experience pre and post purchase using chat, email, SMS, God knows what.
I hear you. And
increase your bottom line.
And on the next level to that, it's fine and good for the brand owner to care or people in the company to care. The next layer down is making sure that the customer feels cared for as the next piece, yeah?
Exactly. And that is why you should be real. That's why it should, because you cannot sort of fake this. You cannot fake being genuine. You can't. It's going to be really hard, and and it's not sustainable. You're not going to make it. So a lot of questions out there are marketers want to start an agency. What niche should I pick? You know this question.
Oh, yeah.
What's the niche I need? You know where I'm going. Well, my sort of standard answer is pick something you truly enjoy. Pick something you truly genuine about, you're truly passionate about, because that is what will help you get up every freaking morning for the next years to come, because it's going to be a rough journey to get from here to there. And if you're not passionate about what you're doing, whether it's sort of in your personal life or building a brand or a personal brand or whatever, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, you're not going to make it. You're not able to create all that content you need to create. You're not able to sort of write long form responses to questions in the group that are being asked to you. You're not going to make it. So you need to be passionate from a personal level, but also from a business level to succeed in the long run, if you ask me. Look at Ezra, man. I think he's a great example. He was on the show, was it last week?
Yes, sir. Ezra Firestone.
Exactly. I mean, look at that guy, man. I mean, he's sort of, if there's one passionate guy out there, I think, and genuine, it's him. And why do I think he is successful? Because he's real and he tells a real story. And there's no, it's real. Yeah. And we want to learn from real people, and we trust real people. So it's easy for me to give you my money if I trust you and I think you're an awesome person, and if I know that you're gonna fulfill my needs.
So let's get tactical here. You've given us a very perfect segue, and I think this is the perfect time to start getting tactical. How do we do that as someone who is building up our customer support in our messenger bot? How do we identify, one, how do we answer the questions knowing that it's a messenger bot without coming across inauthentically? And then two, how do we come up with all the questions? What happens in a messenger bot, say, conversation? I'm trying to stay away from technical terms like the flow and all that. From a conversation standpoint, what happens if we encounter questions that we didn't think of? So first part of the question, how do we think about it? Second part of the question is, how do we determine what questions to answer? And the final part is, what happens if a question falls out of that bucket?
Okay, so it's an ongoing process. You live and learn. It's an ongoing process. But if we take it back to the customer service level, you know, as a business, you will know what sort of the top questions are from your clients. And those the questions that can and probably should be the answering of questions, what probably should be automated the first or semi-automated, are those repetitive questions. If you have a customer service team, sit down with your customer service team for a few hours and talk to them individually or in a team session, or as you do the town halls. Ask them, guys, girls, what are the top 10 repetitive questions we get? Make a list and build a small little flow around that. Or a flow as in, make sure that when somebody, because when you know that these are the top 5 questions, make sure that when somebody hits your messenger bot, let's say through a live chat, because everybody understands sort of the chat icon in often the bottom right corner of a website. Everybody understands sort of that convention. So when I'm on a website and I have a question or maybe specific intent, and I see that bubble, I'll click it. And when I am welcomed with sort of a welcomes message, maybe in a carousel with FAQs, and when there's just cards, maybe with images that immediately tap into, this is where you can find our FAQs, or this are our top 5 questions, then you took the first step towards me as a consumer, because now, like, okay, I had that question. Great. Click on the button. I read what it is, and the whole experience is already enhanced because I was able to get an answer to my question within seconds. No customer service team, no emails, nothing. Automation.
No waiting.
Perfect. No waiting. Exactly. No waiting. And no waiting. Yeah. And depending on what it was, you could even create a segment based on that action.
Yes.
Which could help you in your marketing efforts, or could help you understand how you maybe could improve your website, or you can improve your FAQ, etc. It's all sort of one big data collection party as well to learn and improve.
So, it sounds like it's a very versatile, agile tool that can fit. It's almost like a Swiss Army knife. It's a multi-purpose tool, and it brings benefits to multiple different areas to the business. Now, you mentioned something at the very start that I want to make sure we don't skip on. You mentioned that there's a really large area of gray, and TOS being that part of the gray, the terms of service. Where do you see the biggest misunderstandings in TOS or violations that get people in trouble when they have the best of intentions? They don't even know that they're doing it. They might, I don't know, but you talk to a lot of messenger people, so I'm sure you see.
But I think they're okay. So businesses, they don't know, but businesses will often be genuine in their messaging, in their broadcasting, and then there are marketers who think that Messenger is the new email and it can be used to broadcast any kind of random bullshit out there. And they will do it deliberately, or they will come up with some kind of sort of
way to hack it.
Yeah, but you cannot hack it. There's just no way. I mean, it's Facebook. We play on Facebook's turf. They have the rules. It's a great question. I mean, for a business, when a business uses chat, they will probably not start broadcasting in bulk.
Yeah.
They might do once in a while, but if the business has been genuine and has delivered value and is just an awesome brand, the chances that they will get in trouble, there are chances that they get in trouble, because at some point, so there's sort of, you only get in trouble, to the best of my knowledge, when there's a spike in negative feedback. So when the spike in negative feedback is sort of above 3%, and this is all data you can find back at the page level, then flags start coming off. Flags are being raised. And again, and here we're back to just being genuine, being awesome. If I share awesome content and I do a broadcast as a business owner, probably people are going to enjoy it and they're going to buy from me. But if I'm that shady marketer that's having some kind of shady copy in his messenger broadcast, maybe 2-3 times in a row, and is ignoring sort of the red flags that are obviously there, those are the people that will get in trouble. And to be honest, I'm fine with that. Those people should be purged from the platform anyway, if you ask me. Just to be blunt. I mean,
for sure. Absolutely.
If you take the time, read the manual, that's why I say RTFM, read the fucking manual. It's there. Take some time to actually dive in. If you want to use it, if you want to use the tool, make sure you know sort of you invest some time in the rules of engagement as well. And
yes,
I think that's the most important thing.
So I am in the past 3 to 6 months, I've dug really, really deep into just neuroscience and psychology and figuring out what drives people to take action. And
awesome.
A big part of it is escaping from pain and arriving at pleasure. So, which is why most people don't read manuals, because they don't know what pain they're about to get into or what pleasure they can arrive at. So just give us a whiff, give us a taste of, if we don't read the manual, like what kind of fucking trouble can we get into here?
Oh, easy. You get banned. You get banned from, well, the first layer will probably be you get a warning in your messenger inbox that your page is sort of put on hold, or you're not able to use the messenger platform for 7 days. Then the next, so that's an orange sort of banner.
So okay, if I've spent a lot of time, working on my website, my Facebook page was going for 2 years. I get a message from Facebook saying your messenger, and luckily I'm only asking this question because it's never happened to me, knock on wood. We are putting your Facebook Messenger on lockdown, right? Yeah. No friends, no family, no nothing, no hairdressers.
Yeah. No,
what does the consumer see?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Because will Facebook be like, bow, sorry.
No, so I'm pretty sure that you can still receive one-on-one messages in your page inbox.
But no automation.
No automations, no crazy stuff. So I'm pretty sure you can still receive one-on-one messages in your page inbox, which you can respond to. But you're not able to.
It's all the API stuff then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
got it.
That's a great question. I mean, it's been I've had it twice in the early days where I got that orange banner that I got locked out for about 7 days. And then there's the other layer is that you're just being banned from the platform. And that is.
And that literally, so banned from the platform, does that mean your Facebook page goes down? Does it get that bad?
It's your profile. That could be, I've never been there, to be honest. What I know is that it could probably hurt your page as well, but this is sort of real inside Facebook stuff. I don't know if anybody knows this, but it's a great question. I don't even know. So if you get the red banner that says you're not allowed to use Messenger anymore because of link to terms of service, I don't know. I don't think your page is actually able to. I'm curious if your page is still able to receive messages.
Yeah, so they might take that away. So in other words, just don't fuck with it. Like read the manual. This is, because read the fucking manual.
But it's the same with running ads, isn't it? It's the same with running ads. I mean, you shouldn't sort of push medical face masks now because you think you can make a quick buck. You could, but you shouldn't be surprised when you wake up with a ban.
Yeah.
whether it's an ad account, a profile, a page. I mean, I've been in Facebook jail for a couple days. There was some kind of thing roaming, and then my page, sort of my personal profile, got locked. I know, alongside. I know, I'm pretty sure a few people were in there as well. Dude, when your profile is blocked, I didn't do anything wrong, and I got reinstated, and it was just a thing. But if you're doing shit wrong and you're actually get a hard ban on Facebook on a profile level, think about it. How connected you are.
Everything is blocked.
Well, if you log in to, I don't know what kind of tool with your Facebook profile,
Gone.
gone.
If you're the only admin on your page, or gone. Yeah.
ManyChat, I wasn't able to log into ManyChat anymore because I log in through my profile.
Which is your livelihood.
Exactly. So
Wow.
It's not just sort of a message. I think in general, and I think sort of maybe we should sort of pivot towards read the manual, and when in doubt, don't do it. Anything Facebook related.
Yes.
If you're a Facebook marketer, if you're a messenger marketer, chat, whatever, play safe. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it, because they will kick you out sooner than later. And only then you realize how freaking connected you are, and you're not able to run your business anymore. And sure, yeah, you can have 2 business managers, and you can have 3, God knows what else, and fake profiles. I got one as well. But that's sort of looking for the loopholes. And I don't think you should run a business by throwing up loopholes.
Yeah, I hear you. It's or at the very least, it's you're adding more exhaustion to yourself. Then you got multiple things to manage, and and all this other stuff too. Yeah.
Just be nice.
Totally.
Be nice.
All right, we've gotten to my favorite part of the show. On top of all this cool stuff that's happened, so for everyone watching, I'm going to keep explaining this. I think in all perpetuity, for as long as this show exists, and who knows how long the show is going to exist for. The Growth and Greatness Show was inspired by the late James Lipton, who hosted Inside the Actors Studio, and this show is very much inspired by the late James Lipton. At the end of every show, he would do exactly the same thing with all of his guests, something that he got inspired by Bernard Pivot, a French show host, way earlier before. So I'm trying to keep that tradition alive and do it for this show as well. So we're gonna go through a lightning round where I'm just gonna throw questions your way, answer it as short or as long as you want.
I didn't see this one coming, so I'm not prepared for this.
Great. This is why this is my favorite part. So here we go, lightning round. Rutger, what is your favorite book?
Oh, actually, I have it here. No, it's not here anymore. Age of Intent.
Age of Intent. Do you remember the author?
Ooh.
It's okay if you don't, because I'll make sure I'll search for it and put it in the show notes.
No, Age of Intent. Yeah.
Got it. What's your favorite word?
What's my favorite word? Dude, I never thought about that. What is my favorite word? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is beagle.
Sweet, beagle it is.
Beagle, yeah. I just keep thinking about my dog, which was pretty awesome, sort of beagle, yeah. My favorite word.
What is your least favorite word?
Tech issues.
What switches you on or turns you on?
Food and drinks.
What turns you off?
Tech issues.
What sound? I hear you. What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, dude, rain on a tarp.
Nice. I can actually hear it as you're describing it.
I
What
got I got this app, dude. Sorry,
nice.
rain.
What sound or noise do you hate?
People chewing, sort of in a proximity. I'm sort of and there's sort and can I have another one? There's one
Yeah.
I sort of that's the NutriBullet in the morning. So when I put on the NutriBullet or Annika puts on the NutriBullet, I literally go sort of to the other. I go into the what's it called the shower just because to brush my teeth or do whatever because that sound is so intense. I know it's a
Interesting.
minute, but and Annika's just sitting there, nothing is this thing going on. I'm like, dude, come on, it's crazy. That's probably so NutriBullet in the morning, awful.
What is your favorite curse word? In whatever language, by the way.
Uh, yeah, it probably would be sort of in conversational fuck. That's sort of a what they call the F bomb. I try to yeah when I get on a roll I sort of I try not to use it, especially I don't know, I'm not sure why one didn't. Well, I like to use that sort of in a conversational sort of in talk, and I think that's the main thing. Yeah. But in
What per-
Dutch,
Mhm.
the good old godverdomme
I'm not even gonna attempt that.
does really well. Like this morning, I had like shit going on, like godverdomme.
Which
That's sort
translates
of
to
god damn it.
got it. It
But
is
in
very percussive.
Dutch,
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
boutique resort owner, founder owner, and yeah, that's still sort of that's still a big part of my overall sort of future vision. That's 100%.
Amazing. What is the greatest piece of advice you've received that's helped you grow?
That was a couple of days ago. Um, folk sort of creating sort of scaling up or rebuilding something we're building now for a different platform, which we actually decided to start doing. But this piece of advice was, dude, don't do it yet. Focus on what you have. Focus on finishing what you're building now. Bring that to market. Get enough people in it. Iterate and learn, and then move. Then make the move to the other platform based on what you have then instead of now. Because if you would do it now, I'm going to guarantee you, and that's what he said, in a month or so, you're going to be sort of sitting crying in a corner and hope you never did it. Because there's
Powerful.
so many things that are going to come sort of right at you. It's just going to hurt what you're doing now. So focus on what you're doing now versus scaling too soon.
What does greatness mean to you?
Oh, that's a good one. The first thing that comes to mind, I'm trying to sort of be quick here, but the first thing that comes to mind is this whole COVID-19 thing that we're in. And if I see how and if I look at the Dutch and here in Amsterdam, I don't know if we represent the Netherlands, I do, because sort of it's the big city. It's not that big though. But if I see how people sort of act and react and take their responsibility for themselves, for others, Streets are fairly quiet. We don't have a hard lockdown, but the majority of people just stay in. And a couple weeks earlier than expected, sort of the measures were sort of taken down. That is greatness. I think that is greatness from, well, we got 1 million people here in this city or so, everybody together. That feels great. That feels sort of being, I almost want to say being part of something big, because in this city, I mean, you don't know your neighbors. Well, the majority of us don't know their neighbors, but since this whole thing is going on, everybody's looking out for each other. You have a quick chat with your neighbor. You're doing this for somebody that may be needed. We got 2 hospitals close by. There are sort of, what's it called? Banners with thank you this and thank you that. That, although that we're sort of challenging times, the fact that everybody's taking their own responsibility, that feels great. That feels like sort of common greatness.
Amazing.
I mean, that's sort of the first thing that comes to mind. Yeah.
That's profound, man. It's and you can see it right in front of you. That's super powerful. Final question: if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well done.
Love it.
Well done.
Final.
Let's show on the road. Yeah.
That's good. I love it. Final question. So this goes out to the audience in the room right now watching us. We just barely scratched the surface around all the technical side of things. I truly, now being an entrepreneur for as long as I have, understand that the more you know, the more you find out what you don't know. And from this conversation, I'm hoping that a lot of people can get inspired to see that, wait a second, there's this world that I need to explore for the betterment of my brand, my business, my customers, my sales.
Do it.
Where do you share the knowledge, drop that stuff? How can people find you and connect with you? And I guess more importantly, connect with all that goodness, all that good stuff.
Internet address would be Facebook group Bots and Beers.
That's Facebook group. Go search for Bots and Beers.
100%. Yeah. So that's where I spend quite a lot of time. That's where there are the videos. That's where new videos are coming. That's where new products will be dropped. That's where if there's anything you want to do with Messenger, chat, if you have any specific questions, you want to just lurk in the dark, whatever, just make sure you hit up Bots and Beers. You get in there and pay forward as well.
Great. I love that. I love that part about that community. Or the good communities always are a bit like that. Pay it forward.
Yeah, it's not big, it's not small, but it's active and it's great. I think great value and great content, not only by me but other people as well. And everybody's sort of available to answer your questions. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty proud of that. That's greatness as well. 100%.
Amazing. All right, I'm gonna throw over to make sure I say bye to the audience properly, and then stay on the line. I just want to make sure I thank you properly after I wrap up too. Thank you, brother. All right, so that was Rutger. Now, hopefully, if you've never met the Bot Father before, you've got a glimpse of the Bot Father and understand why he is called so and agreed upon by so many people. If you like this episode, first of all, if you like what Rutger was dropping, do join his community. It is a very vibrant community and a very giving community as well. It's one of those places where really you can go in there and know that the knowledge that is being shared and the advice that is being shared is legit, but also well researched, right, at the same time. Now, please do join me in thanking Rutger. Just thank him in the comments below, because he just gave up his time and he dropped a lot of really, really good stuff, especially around messenger bots. If you like this episode and you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this a like, and drop a comment. Just say hi as well. Always love reading your comments. Always try to get back to every single one of them as much as we can. And also, if you're on Facebook, well, come do the same thing. Hit the like, hit the share, tag a friend, because someone needs to see this, especially if they've never been in Messenger bot or they want to take that to the next level. All right, I will see you next time on the GG Show.